At some point, people are going to have to start coming to the realization, start digesting the fact that America is becoming the most right it's ever been. This is the greatest cultural shift we've ever seen. We went from in the 2010s, when Barack Obama was president, people literally never thinking that we will ever have a Republican as president again. And even fast forward to 2020, where Trump got booted out of the White House, people saying that the Republican Party needs to turn the page, they need to become more moderate, they need to get rid of Trump, and Trump's never going to sniff the presidency again, to 2025 and late 2025, where you now, majority of the people, especially our age, know the name Nick Fuentes, and he's popular, he resonates with people. If you told anyone that back in 2020, they would look at you like you were crazy. The fact is that that guy is the evidence that we have become so right-wing. We have shifted the culture to this way. Who is Nick Fuentes? If you don't know who Nick Fuentes is now, in 1 month you're going to know who he is, because you cannot go on Instagram, you cannot go on TikTok, you cannot.
Yeah, but who does the young men, like who do the young men have to go to? I mean, Charlie got shot. He had a lot of young men, I'm sure. And now people just flock to Nick. And it's kind of obvious, like that dude is the only one who pretty much just says it how it is and doesn't sugarcoat anything and just gives the raw truth and is honest and unapologetic. Everybody else says, oh yeah, you young men, you suck, you are the problem. And he's like, he doesn't do that, right? I don't follow Nick that much, but you know, from some of the stuff I heard he said or has said is it's no wonder. It's no wonder he's capturing all these hearts. It's such a like non-surprise. I don't know what to say. It isn't surprising at all. And people who like, what else are they gonna do? Like, are they gonna follow some of these like leftists? Because they will never capture the young men's hearts, and pretty much now, more than ever, that is what matters. So
go on X without seeing a clip from this guy's show. That's how popular he is. In fact, I'm so confident that the people that are watching this video that don't know who he is, if I showed you a clip of him or a video of him or a picture of him, you know exactly who he is. That's how popular he is now. This is who our country is becoming. And whether you think it's a good thing or a bad thing, that voice resonates with Americans. He is becoming so mainstream that people like Tucker Carlson are about to do an interview with him. His podcast, he's banned on everything, but his podcast was unbanned on Spotify. For whatever reason, the platform decided to unban it. I don't know why. I don't know why they decided to ban it again, but they unbanned it for a couple days. And his podcast skyrocketed to #1 over Joe Rogan. I'm going to say that again. Joe Rogan, if you know how big Joe Rogan is, you know how big of a deal this is. His podcast was #1 on Spotify over Joe Rogan, and then Spotify rebanned him again after a couple days. That's how popular he is. That's how much he resonates with Americans today, especially the young people. This is just to show you that people are sick and tired of the powers that be, Republican and Democrat, because Nick Fuentes is neither. The powers that be have pushed the limits. People are sick of it. People don't want to, when you've put us through the COVID hysteria, when you tell people that they are anti-Semitic for just having the simple belief that we should not be killing women and children needlessly, when you tell people that you can't be grounded in reality, that you have to accept the fantasy reality that women can play in men's sports and it's totally fine. Or men can play in women's sports, vice versa, and it's totally fine. When you tell people that we are going to bail out the banks and the top 1%, and we're not going to look after the hardworking Americans, and we're going to do H-1B visas and bring in a ton of people that could, when Americans could well do the job. When you tell people that there's nothing we can do about, that they got to send their money to Ukraine and to Israel to fight foreign wars, and we're going to have to fight all these wars, and we're not going to do anything to help our fellow neighbors and our fellow man. When you tell people there's nothing you can do to make our cities cleaner, there's just everything. People are fed up and frustrated. And what do you get when that happens? When you kill a man who is as moderate as they come for having civil debate and dialogue with people, and you shoot him in front of everyone to see him.
Yeah, how unlucky for them, bro. They shoot Charlie thinking something is gonna happen. Well, the replacement is here, bro. You get Nick Fuentes. Good luck. There's so many dudes that are just afraid to talk to this guy because they know he will dismantle everything. And they say, because he's just that guy. I'm not gonna glaze too much, but from what I've seen, this dude there's a reason why he's popular, okay? Because he just says the right shit at the right time. Of course, there are certain things I just do not agree with him on, and a lot of the ways he presents the info and how he kind of acts and behaves, I don't really like, but he does lose some people being the way he is, but whatever. It doesn't matter that much.
In front of his wife and his kids, right in the neck, for everyone to see. Pretty modest views. People are frustrated. You get Nick Fuentes, who is accumulation of that frustration, who, whether you like it or not, is the most important voice in America and the voice of America. Because nobody resonates with Americans clearly like he does now, or else, despite being banned on almost everything, his voice carries. People see him all the time. People want to hear what he has to see, what he says on every topic. That tells you something. That no matter how much they tried to censor this guy, there's no point of it anymore. There's no point. That is the power of the frustration, of the accumulation, how much they've pushed these limits, how much the powers that be have pushed the limits, that we get this now. And it's awesome. I think it's awesome. I go on Instagram Reels now, and you go to your mutuals to see what people are liking. I have chicks in my life that don't know anything about politics that are liking Nick Fuentes Reels. Do you know how crazy that sounds? I never thought I would hear the day I say that. The fact that that's coming out of my mouth is ludicrous, but it's true. And you're blackpilling. Just remember that. You're blackpilling. It's crazy. It's crazy times we're living in.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's man, like Nick is just gonna continue to explode, really, because he just says things with honesty that people can't. And the thing is, he's banned from all like big platforms. He's in such a platform that he can pretty much say whatever he wants. I would think. I don't know. I need to watch him more. It's very interesting, the development, and I think it's really funny. We've seen some clips of him. Yeah, very very funny man, funny guy. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I catch you boys on the next one. Take care of yourself.